Yes, yes, yes. 5K, 22:52 and 7:22 average pace. Unfortunately, not the 5K record since having TMS, tension myositis syndrome, mind-body syndrome, neuroplastic symptoms, of which runner's dystonia is a symptom. But damn, it was close. I had a 5K in November that was a 7:16 average pace, which was like the old me. But hell, this was pretty damn close, especially for still some icy patches and it's still being balls cold. So I will take that any day. And I am loving complaining about the weather because that's a much better thing to complain about than my dystonia and my pain, blah, blah, blah. But I wasn't gonna have it this morning. I was feeling a little nervous about my run. And just like I've said in my other recent videos, you can't go into it with the fear, because I was kind of like, it's a little questionable with the icy patches. And I just really like to be able to focus on the running and not so much the conditions. Like, obviously it's not that bad, but like, I don't know, just like places on the sidewalk like that, you know, you just want to be careful with your footing, and some of the stuff that's wet is still ice. But anyway, who cares about the weather? It's a nice problem to have. So my message for today, after that long-winded introduction where I probably lost all of you, but who cares? This is for me. It's to help other people, but this is for me, to be honest. And that's where you need to be with your recovery. It's all focused on yourself. So just putting it out there for posterity and history, when people in the future finally realize that runner's dystonia is a social contagion and it's not a real neurological condition. It is psychologically based. So I had to turn the fear around this morning, and I had to find like good music. I needed to find good music. I was like, it needs to be something. Here comes the Amazon truck. But since nobody's listening, it doesn't matter. So I was like going back and forth on my music for a long time. And finally I was like, yes, I know what I was thinking of the other day. I wanted to listen to the Run Lola Run soundtrack because that is an awesome movie. And it was like my favorite movie when I was 17 years old. And I listened to that soundtrack all the time. And that was right around when I started to get into EDM, or electronic dance music. Back then it was kind of more called techno, and that movie is like running and techno. It is like the best. And like, I wasn't even a runner at the time. Like, I ran a little bit, but like not like now. Not like how I became in my 30s. So I was like, yes, let's listen to that. And I started listening to it like when I was getting ready, and I started to cry. And that's always the sign. Put on the music that is gonna stir up that emotion in you. Put it on. If it's gonna either make you cry or make you excited and pumped up, like eliciting some sort of emotion, like that's the thing. That's the thing to do. So I listened to the soundtrack as I ran, and I could just focus on the music, and I could like remember times from when I was that age, and I could remember scenes from the movie and her running in the movie, or like the awesome parts of the movie, because I've like seen it a billion times and basically had it memorized back then. So then I could just run and fly when I ran and not focus on the symptoms, because focusing on the symptoms always makes it worse. Always makes it worse. So that was perfect. That was perfect. So music choices, very important. I've always felt they were very important. But another thing is too, I have noticed kind of in going back to like older music choices, or even like running soundtracks or playlists that I have various races, or old EDM sets that I would have like before I had runner's dystonia, like I wasn't really listening to when I was like relearning to walk and run. So like older EDM sets in music that don't kind of have the association of the symptoms and feeling the symptoms. I think I do much better with those because I can access the old parts of me prior to all this trauma happening. I can access the parts and like remembering runs and other places that I used to live, or other races or things like that before I had all this crap. And so that worked really well today. So be critical of your music choices as well. And if you made it to the end, congratulations. That means that you're going to have success in overcoming runner's dystonia too. You will, I promise.